Welcome in, everybody. Unfortunately, this will be the last post-game show on Red, White, and Bills this year. What do we expect on a loss for the Buffalo Bills other than heartbreak? Sometimes you just know it's coming, but the way that game was, it was up and down, up and down. We thought, oh, we're down. They caught up after a minute. There's only a minute left. Now we got to score again. We get hyped up. Then they score again. And then, it was just, even from a Bills fan point of view, when we were on the bad end of it, when you look at it, it was, I'm 26 years old. That was the best game I ever witnessed, it's not me celebrating, as some people were saying online. Bills fans are celebrating a divisional loss. And it's very weird, I think, to say. Nobody's celebrating anything. No Buffalo Bills fan is happy with a loss. And, but you could sit here as a sports fan and a football fan to show that you have knowledge and say, that was the best game I ever saw. What I saw my quarterback do, what I saw some of my receivers do, and what his offense do in that game, those were the two best teams in the NFL out there. That was essentially the Super Bowl because, the rest of the teams remaining, they just don't have it. They don't have what Kansas City has. And, it was a blow-for-blow game, no turnovers. Allen and Mahomes were just showing why they're the top two paid quarterbacks in the league. And if you don't have them on your team, then don't expect too much. Don't expect to go to the Super Bowl every year or go far in the playoffs. And, that's not trying to sound cocky or anything. It's just these two they're on their own pedestal. They're on their own level. And they show that again in the biggest stage. Again, if Allen has any more doubters after that, after his playoff run, again, another year of good playoffs, it's just beyond teachable. It's just hating and, very silly. But, this Buffalo Bills team, you guys got to remember, for 17 years, we didn't make the playoffs. For 25, we didn't win one. My whole life was basically never won a playoff game. The last time they won a playoff game was like the year I was born. But, for the last two seasons, to go out and watch 3 playoff wins, the way this team has grown, the way the personnel has grown, the way we had a quarterback who in the pre-draft process was viewed as less talented than someone like Josh Rosen or Baker Mayfield or Lamar Jackson, all those people in his class, Sam Darnold, to go from someone who wasn't supposed to be anything to one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best, to watch receivers grow with them, watch O linemen and D linemen and defensive players all over grow with them. It's been an awesome thing to see. And, again, it's not a consolation, but this team will be back, whether people like it or not. This team's good enough. They were good enough to win that game. Josh Allen did enough to win that game. Unfortunately, the rules are the rules. You can't, like you said, you can't do anything about them. For people that know me 4 years ago, my Army buddies were watching the Chiefs-Patriots game, and the Patriots won off of that. They didn't get Chiefs didn't get a chance. And I said, that's not really fair. I don't think that's a good idea, but that's the rules. I'm not just saying it because I'm a Bills fan. I'm saying it because I know when something's not right. Like I can say that, but that's what my opinion is. It just makes sense to me, and I'm sure everybody thinks the same way. But again, if we won that game off of that first drive touchdown, I would have been, obviously very different than I am right now. But it's just how the cookie crumbles. It's a tough game. I think a lot of people think just because the Patriots won 6 Super Bowls in 20 years that they're easy to come by. Because in playoffs, yes, it's skill. Yes, it's all this stuff. However, a little bit of luck has to be had. Look at that game. We just, like I said, no turnovers, almost 1,000 yards of total offense, 8 touchdown passes. Almost, I think it was 9 or 10 total touchdowns. It was just an incredible game. And, if you're a fan, it was a great game for everybody, but the Bills fans are the ones feeling the pain. But that was just an incredible game to watch. The only thing I wonder, people bring up the squib kick. I understand. However, it may not have even took that many seconds off the clock, and it would have given better field position. They thought that the number one defense in the league, whether people think it's true or not, that's what it was. They proved it on the stat sheet every week. And, whatever you want to say about it, they were the number one defense. They've been consistently a top 3 defense for the last 5 years. You can check the stats on that. I challenge you if you doubt it. But also at the same time, I was talking to people, pre-game. It's going to come to a point where the defense has to step up because it's going to be a high-scoring game, and it's going to come down to the defense making a play. And Josh Allen took the lead with 1:54 left. They scored. We had a minute left. Goes out there, scores again with 13 seconds left. That's got to be enough, right? Very well should have been. But again, this wasn't our time. We will make it there. We will win a Super Bowl. Josh Allen will be hoisting a Lombardi Trophy for Buffalo. It's just a matter of when, because he's going to do it. Nobody wants to win more than this guy. And to say that he's our quarterback and to have the most competitive attitude, to want to win a game more than anyone else in the NFL, and you can see that on his face. You can see it. You can feel it coming out of his body. And it's just amazing to have him as our quarterback. Another phenomenal game for Josh Allen, 27 of 37, 329 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, a rating of 136, and 11 rushes for 68 yards. This guy is just just an animal, a mismatch for every team. Nobody can have answers for him. He's going to have bad games. Everybody has bad games. Stafford had like 3-game stretch right through 2 or 3 picks a game and a couple pick sixes. Mahomes had a couple bad games this year. It happens. But when it comes down to it, especially in the playoffs, he had basically a perfect playoff season in 2 games. And it could have been longer, but the Chiefs took us down again. So, we beat them in the regular season, but regular season doesn't matter. All that matters is postseason. Anyone could have won that game, Bills or Chiefs. We say you play them 10 times, it'd be even, because those teams they're the best of the best. 2 of the best quarterbacks. I think they're on a tier on their own, and then everyone else follows behind them. It's just going to be amazing to watch this rivalry for years to come, because I'm sure we're going to see them in the playoffs again next year. So anyway, a couple other stats, a couple guys I enjoy watching. Just so you know, there's no one on defense. So, well, Ed Oliver was a tank. He always is. McKenzie, 3 carries for 15 yards. Motor, 10 carries, 26 yards, and a nice touchdown to open the game. Also added 4 completions, 4 catches for 25 yards. And it got Josh going early. He took the check downs like he was supposed to. They were trying to take the top off. Like, oh, no, I'm just going to check down because I already know what I want to do. I'm going to play to what they're trying to do, to play the opposite to that and succeed. And they did. Beasley was 6 for 60. And then Gabe Davis, just the performance of a lifetime in the playoffs for a wide receiver. Set the record for postseason touchdowns in a game with 4. He had 8 catches for 201 yards and 4 touchdowns, like I already mentioned. But to say, like going back to what I said in the beginning, where people said we're celebrating a loss. No receiver on your team in the past, present, has never done that. So if I want to be proud and say I'm proud of Gabe Davis and happy for him to do something like that in a game of that magnitude, I'm going to do it. If I'm going to say I'm proud of Josh Allen for throwing 9 touchdowns in 2 games with a 156 out of 156.8 passer rating in the first game and a 136 this game with almost 400 yards of total offense and another 4 touchdowns. Also giving us the lead with 2 times while we were losing with not much time left. If I'm going to be proud of those guys and I'm celebrating a loss, that's just delusional. And, that's all I got to say on that, to be honest. But, I love this defense. I love this team. I love each and every person on this team. I love the coaches. It's a shame because not everybody's going to be back on the team next year. I'll do probably a video maybe this week or next week because school started, so I'm back being a little bit more tied up. But I'll get it in. I'll make sure I'm still pumping out videos for everybody. But we'll talk about some free agents and then get into draft talk. But this defense, man, I feel for them too because we've seen what they could do. You could say, oh, they're bad teams, but that's not how it is. It's the NFL. If these guys are bad, then why am I not in the NFL? Put me there. If these teams are bad, let me go. But they know that the loss is on them. The offense really couldn't do much more than they did. 36 points in a divisional playoff game. Would it be any other team this week besides the Chiefs? But the defense didn't show up to play, and it's very upsetting. But it's one of these things where you got to learn from it. And I hate saying, "Oh, there's always next year," but that's what we got to say again, guys. And one of these days it will come true because I firmly believe Josh Allen will be hosting a Lombardi Trophy for the Buffalo Bills. We have the team to do it, the coaching staff to do it, and we damn sure have the quarterback to do it. But stay tuned on the shirts, guys. I should be getting them this week. It takes like a week or two, like I mentioned the first time, for the guy to put the order in, and then I'll be sending them out. But let me know, DM me if you remember giving me an order because I forgot to write down some names, but I got the sizes all down. So I know that everybody wanted one. I got the size. But thank you guys for tuning in. Just wanted to thank you again for all the support that you've given me this season. The off season, we'll keep pumping out videos. I'll keep growing. I'll keep doing my best for you guys. I love what I do here. And hopefully next year we could talk all the way to February. And then we're having a party here. And I'll be meeting all you guys in Buffalo for the party. But like I said, this year we're gonna feel it for a long time. It's okay to be happy with who your team is and who the players are on your team. Nobody's celebrating a loss. That's not what it is. It's being proud of the team you have. And I'll be proud every time, and I'll die on that hill. But thank you guys for tuning in. And for the last time for the post-game show, go Bills.